Hey, Aaron. I was seeing who's around and who's on and who's live and no one's live at the moment. So I decided to be live. Late night. Um, um, yeah. So, um, yeah. I was planning on doing a panel yesterday, but I was in a lot of back pain and I just wanted to relax and rest yesterday. Um and Yeah, so I decided, to not be live, and just relax and rest my back and all that. So um but but yeah, yeah, so I decided to be live, and see who's on and who's around and all that. And yeah, so but I don't know if Anthony will be here or what. I know he was on Eric Raiders live earlier. I missed like an hour of it since I was on, you know, seeing who else was live and be on with them. So I missed like almost the whole live. So of Eric Raiders. So um, but but yeah. So um, but yeah. So I don't know if I'm planning to do a panel. Since it's Tuesday, I might do one later. I don't know when, but I might do one later. You know, um, I want to talk about. I was planning on doing a topic about mental health and about how our mental health, has affected our lives and all that. So I still will be doing that for a panel. Um, but um, but tomorrow, I might be bringing up a serious matter that has been happening lately. So I might be bringing that up tomorrow. Um, and Yeah, so I might be doing that. Um, um, but um, but I don't know who will be around tomorrow. I don't know what time I'll be doing my live. It might be 5. It might be 8. It might be 10. Who knows? Um, for tomorrow. You know, um, Thanks, Aaron. Yeah, I don't understand why YouTube doesn't allow more writing and all that stuff. I mean, maybe it just only is up to 200 200 characters, when you write with letters and stuff. I think it stops at 200. So I don't know. Maybe they just don't want to bring it up to like 500 or something, but I don't know. That's YouTube. So um but yeah, so yeah. Hopefully we'll be able to, you know add more add more to our words, so we're not able to be YouTube needs to update that. Update it from, from when people writing stuff, it stops at 200. let's bring it up to 500 characters so people are able to write more, or maybe 300. Let's say 300 instead of 500. Let's say 300. Let's bring it up to 300, so there'll be more people that are able to write more. That's all I'm able to say about YouTube. So you know, but thanks, Aaron, for bringing all that up. For everyone that will be on, the lives and stuff. But um, but but yeah. So it's just that you know YouTube needs to fix what they're doing, make some updates. You know, there's a lot of things happening with YouTube. There's a lot of things happening with you know, with you know, with people, with the, like, with the internet and all that stuff. So, um, um, but yeah. So, with how when if you're on your phone, if you're on your on your desktop, laptop, tablet, whatever, the internet affects the you know viewing experience for when you're seeing the live streamers, that you're seeing, and it's buffering, or maybe it's on their end. You know, it just all depends. You know what way it is. So yeah, do better, YouTube. I've been on YouTube, on streams, on live streams, and with people, and it's been buffering a lot. And yeah, it might be my end, since I'm on my laptop. I have, like, somewhat of really somewhat that decent internet that works, but there's times where it doesn't work. So, but once I have my new phone, then I'll be able to have a better internet. So, but but yeah. So, but we have to know what YouTube does with with how with how with how YouTube is, and and with how you know we're on people's lives and in the chat and all that, and then suddenly it buffers. So, but yeah. So I don't know. YouTube's doing its thing, but but um but yeah. Um but anyways, but back what I was saying about my panel. So tomorrow will be, I was planning on doing my mental health thing, panel and all that, but there's some things that has been happening lately that I do want to talk about, and it's about things that is happening on YouTube with viewers and streamers and all that. But I won't say any names, but we know who they are. So I might be bringing that up tomorrow, and if anyone is around that wants to hop on the panel, uh, I'll put the link in the chat in my live and all that, and then if anyone wants to join and talk, about it, about things that are happening on YouTube, that are bad and stuff, then I'll be around, to put the link in the chat and all that. So, But anyways, yeah. So that might be the plan for tomorrow. Maybe in the early evening. So maybe like 5 p.m. my time in California. So it'll be around that time. But I might do it like maybe like, well, I don't know if anyone will be live tomorrow. I don't know if Eric Rayer will be live tomorrow. I know he's been starting his lives a little bit later, you know, you know, but um, you know, but shout out to him. Um, 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 so I might do my live maybe like 5 or 6, maybe. To see who's around and all that. I don't want to do it, late, like around this time. I know people are in bed and people are asleep and all that stuff. So, um, but as for me, being a night owl and having insomnia and sleep later and stay up late, you know, um, you know, that's what I've been doing. So, um, you know, um, but but it's just that I might do like my panel, probably like 5 or 6. Um, but if Eric Rader is not live tomorrow and he has a break, then I might do it at 7. You know, you know. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. And and I know a lot of I know a lot of people are not around and they're probably having dinner or on other people's streams and stuff. You know, you know, either participating in the chat or just being in alert mode. Bugs Day. Be nice to Bugs Day. Well, here's the thing, Aaron. Here's the thing. So here's my story on bugs. Now. This is when I was a kid. I hated bees, like any type of bees, yellow and black bees. The black round bees that you see flying around your flowers and all that stuff. Those big black bees that you see in your yard and all that stuff. I am so terrified of those types of bees. Any type of bees, I'm afraid of. The other bug I'm afraid of is roaches. Now with roaches, uh, back when I was growing up, my house, the one I'm in now, my parents' house that I'm in now, we had a lot of roaches in our kitchen. Um, behind the fridge, we had some on the stove. We had some, under where the drain is, where the sink is. Um, and and there were some other places in the kitchen that there was roaches rolling around and stuff. And I just hate them. I'm just terrified of them. I just don't like them. I mean, I did once hold one. But this was in high school, and this was in a home economics class that I was in, and someone brought in a roach, and that was in one of those things that you put spiders in, or a tarantula or whatever. So they brought in a live roach, and I was like, what? I'm like, I was still terrified of roaches at the time. This was when I was like 14, 15 years old. I was a teen already. And maybe 16, but who knows. Uh, um, and they brought in, and someone brought in, I don't know if it was the teacher or the or one of the students. I don't remember, but they brought in a roach, and they were like, "Do you wanna wanna not pet it, but like have it be on your arm or your hand or whatever?" And I was like, "Why don't I just put it on my hand to see how it feels?" And I was like, I just didn't like the feel of it. They put it on my hand to let it like move around and stuff. Maybe like roll up my arm, not all the way up my arm, but like all the way up to where my elbow is. That's like where I was like, this needed to take this off. It needed to take this roach off my arm. So so uh so so yeah, I'm terrified. I'm terrified of bees. I'm terrified of roaches. The other insect I'm afraid of is spiders. Now, that's another thing I'm afraid of is spiders. I hate them. so, 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 um, but, yeah, but with Be Nice to Buzz say, no thanks. So, yeah, that's out. That's out for me, anyways. You know. So, um, but, but yeah, I just don't like bugs. The only bug I do love now this is one bug I do love. Now this is one bug I do love is let me put it a better way. It transforms. Now let me tell you, it's a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly. Now, I did have a butterfly, not a butterfly, a caterpillar when I was in elementary school, and everyone was able to, take their take Waiter, there's a fly in my soup. Don't worry, we won't charge you extra for it. Yeah, that's what happens in restaurants. You see a fly, that's what happens. But but yeah. So when I was in elementary school, the teacher let us bring our own caterpillar home to let it transform into a butterfly. So when I did that, with my dad and my mom and my brother, we had to let it say in the thing that it was in the in like maybe like the things like the tarantulas would be in, like those you know sealed containers, so it will have air and stuff, so 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 what happened was we let it transform into a cocoon, then into whatever it did, and then into a butterfly. And then when it transformed into a butterfly, we just let it fly free, outside. Just let it fly, fly, wherever, it will fly to, wherever. Um, you know, but yeah, that's the caterpillars and butterflies I do love. I mean, those are like the type of insects I would also have a pet as a pet and have another butterfly and all that stuff. I would do that. Um, I would definitely you know have one again. Um, but 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 yeah, so um I mean, ladybugs. Now, here's the thing with ladybugs. Now, I've heard things about it, about ladybugs, and I've heard some things, and and I don't remember what the mean of how ladybugs are, if they're like, a good luck thing, or if they like roll on your, if they land on your hand, or your finger, or they land on, you know any part of your body, if it's your arm or whatever. I don't know what if I don't know what the if there's a meaning for that. You know, you know, you know. If I'm wrong about the good luck thing, then I might be wrong on that. But if I'm right, then I don't know. But 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 yeah. So um yeah, I know uh I know I know that I know that you know um uh where is a fly in my soup? Out of $2. Well, when you're out of croutons. Now, here's the other thing: it's just put crackers in it, like crumble crackers in the soup, or if there's a fly in it, when they bring you back another soup, just put little crumbs of crackers in. There you go. you know, you know, you know. So there's there's that solves your problem. um, but that'll be horrible if restaurants were out of croutons and all they had was the crackers that the waiters hand you. Um, or saltines, whatever they have, saltines, crackers, whatever. Um, you know, yeah. So um, if you remember that episode of Seinfeld, Aaron, it's one of my favorite series. Seinfeld. I love that series. One of my favorites. The soup episode on Seinfeld where Kenny Banya, and Jerry, and he had the Armani suit. Oh man, that's funny. A free Armani suit from Banya, and then he decides and he says, "Why don't you just take me to dinner sometime?" And he said Mendy's. And when he went to Mendy's, oh man, with Mendy's, this is on the TV series. This is in New York, but the series is taped in California. But it's funny that when Jerry and Banya are in the restaurant in Mendy's, he's like he said, "I'll just have soup and I'll save the meal for another time." And then Jerry was not happy. Like, he was not happy. He was not happy. And then the next day, when he was in the coffee shop with George, he was like, I don't know if it was the next day or the day before, the day after or whatever. He was like, he wanted to know if he wore the suit yet, the Armani suit or whatever. And when whatever happened. And then he decided, to eat at the coffee shop, and have soup and I think tuna on toast or something like that. It's like a tuna sandwich on toast or something like that or whatever. And then after that, that in that whole episode, Jerry decided to give the Armani suit to Elaine's boyfriend. That's from England. I'm like, well, Banya lost out on his Armani suit, and Jerry gave it to Elaine's boyfriend. um, but then Jerry decided, to take Mania back to Mendy's. uh, uh, that series never gets old. That's why I have Netflix. Netflix is the only place that has that series. Oh man. But yeah. But yeah. But yeah, that series, whenever they bring up about soup, or they bring up about food, it's like it's a funny episode. but 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 it's uh, soup's not a meal. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens. That's what that's what Jerry says. Soup's not a meal. uh uh but yeah. But yeah, uh oh man. I have to say that I have a lot of like favorite episodes. I have a lot of favorite episodes, but like out of my top 5 or 10, it's the soup. The soup episode is hilarious and funny. Even with the Armani suit and all that stuff, and the soup and the meal and all that stuff. It's a funny episode. That's a top favorite for me. So, but but yeah, it would be nice if Gary did more episodes of Seinfeld. But at his age, he's 71. And he has grown kids and his wife. You know, and and he's at that age where you know he says he doesn't want to do another Seinfeld. But I did hear something of a reunion of some sort, a Seinfeld reunion of some sort. But I don't know if it will be televised, or it will be on like Netflix, or it will be on Amazon Prime, or anywhere that I have. But or it'll be on TV, on regular TV, NBC, if it might be on NBC or whatever. It'll be on Peacock, TV, the app, or on TV and stuff. But like that's what I was hearing, is they might do a Seinfeld reunion. But the thing is, I don't know if it will be like a reunion where they just talk together, like Larry David's there, Julie Louis Dreyfus, Michael Richards, Jason Alexander, and also Jerry. Obviously, they all get together and just talk about you know the uh the Seinfeld, or they might do an episode. Who knows? But it would be nice if they did an episode, just one final hurrah of an episode, like like bring Newman back, obviously bring him back, you know, um, but like bring uh, everyone back, the cast members, you know, but we'll just have to see what happens, what they decide or what, but but um but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. You know, I do want to see another episode, like one final episode to even out the finale that happened and all that. Oh, thanks, Aaron. Um, but yeah, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. With what Jerry decides. Um, I know he's still doing stand up. I know he's still doing his comedy and his tour. All over. You know, so so I don't know. We'll have to wait and see if he decides to do some sort of reunion of some sort, and bring the cast back and bring Larry David back. Um, what would be nice now? What would be nice now? In all the years that Seinfeld has been off the air, I would love to see George be back with doing his job at the Yankees. Now here's the thing: is George Steinbrenner was on the series was Larry David. That was him doing that was Larry David doing George Steinbrenner. I do want to see that happen, but will it happen? Probably not. They might want to do something more new and more funnier and all that stuff. But you know, maybe with Jerry and with Jerry and Jason and Julia and Michael Richards, you know, they have to agree on it and be like, if they want to do it or not. I mean, I know they're all up in their 60s and 70s, so you know, um, and yeah. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what happens if they decide to do one or not. I mean, it would be nice, but I mean, I mean, look at Curb Enthusiasm. That's another favorite series of mine that I love on HBO Max that I've seen many times, and they decided not to do a season 13. Since Larry David is 77. No, is he 77? No, 78. Yeah, he just turned 78 in July. On July 2nd. Um, so yeah, so he's up there in age. Um, so maybe since he's now doing his what is it? Conversations with one on one, with the audience and stuff. Like he's doing a tour, and all that, you know, and 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 all that. I mean, I remember, and this is last year. So I got tickets to see Curb Enthusiasm Q&A. It was a Q&A. Well, not a Q&A. It was just the cast that talk about the series and all that stuff. So me and my dad went, and this was in Hollywood, and this was at the Dolby Theater, where I had me and my dad had pretty like Larry David says, pretty good. Like what Larry David says. Pretty good seats. And here's the thing. There is a lot of people there. And I'll tell you this. If you ever experience to see anything that that the Paley Center puts on, and they have it at the Dolby Theater, it's worth the money to buy the ticket and see your favorite series, whatever's on, on our streaming platforms that we have. But yeah, it was worth seeing Curb Enthusiasm and seeing Larry David, seeing Cheryl Hines, seeing Jeff Garland, seeing Susie Essman there, and also JB Smoove. But I do like the original cast, but he was brought in later seasons in season 6. So JB Smoove was brought in, at that time. But the original cast, I'm like, man, they are hilarious. They were funny. I'm like, they were laughing. We were all laughing. The audience was laughing. I was laughing. Oh man. But yeah, it was worth it. I mean, I was still in a lot of pain, and it was hard for me to walk and stuff at the time, so I had to use the cane to hold my balance and all that stuff. So, so it was hard to move, all over and stuff. So, but yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. And all that. So, but oh, by the way, I don't think I did tell you this. I know it's only you, Aaron. But 10 years ago, back in 2015, and this is the same, not the same thing, but not a Q&A, not a a meet and greet or whatever. But they did have a Seinfeld exhibit where you were able to interactively be a part of Seinfeld. If it's a coffee shop, if it's Jerry's apartment, if it's Kramer's apartment, and that was a lot of fun. But this was in West Hollywood. This was in West Hollywood that me and this is what me and my dad also. Me and my dad went to this place. And Pooh walked by me, and I was about to say something, but I didn't want to bother. And it was a celebrity, and I'll tell you who it was. I will tell you, it was one of the guest stars that was on an episode of Seinfeld. And he walked by me, and I was like, I didn't have words to say, and he walked by me. Just like bloop right by me, like not like he snubbed me or whatever, but like he just went boop right walked by me, and I'll tell you who it is. And it's from one of my other favorite TV series that I do love, and it's King of Queens. And who would it have been? I will tell you. It was Patton Oswalt that played the video store, the person that worked in the video store, that he was trying to that George was trying to rent Breakfast at Tiffany's. It was the couch episode, and he just went whoop right by me with his daughter. His daughter. That he that that he was with, and I didn't want to bother him and yell like, Patton, I love you. I didn't want to like scare him. So I just didn't want to do that. You know how celebrities are. So yeah, I really wanted to meet Patton. I mean, I really did. I mean, I've been a Seinfeld fan and a King Queens fan for a lot of years. I mean, Seinfeld, I've been a fan for the longest. I've been a fan since maybe 2012, I think. 2012, 2013, something like that. Yeah, something like that. It might have been 2011. Who knows? but yeah, I've been a fan been a fan for a lot of years of Seinfeld, and King of Queens was around the same time. So, um, but all I will say is 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 all I will say is if you or any of the viewers or replay viewers or any of that stuff, if you see anything that the Paley Center, if you're in California and if you're not in California and you want to fly out, if you have the money, um, you know, it will be worth the money to see your favorite series and see your favorite stars and all that stuff, in the series, but but yeah, it's worth it. It's worth it. But I mean, I really, really, really hope that the King of Queens does something similar, what Seinfeld did. But I don't know if they will. I mean, all it was Doug and Carrie's house, and Deacon and Kelly's apartment, and Spence and Spence's apartment, and all that stuff, all the apartments in the series, you know, um, you know, so yeah, but will they do it? Probably not. Since we all know Leah Remini used to be a Scientologist, used to be in Scientology. We all know that, um, but 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 they probably won't be able to do it. Have some sort of like exhibit or like a Q&A or any of that. They might not be able to do it. So it's been a lot of years since both Seinfeld and the King of Queens have been off the air, and they well, here's the thing: Seinfeld ended in '98. Then King of Queens started in '98, ended in 2007 when it ended. So it's funny. It's funny. It's funny how sitcoms are, with TV shows and stuff. Now, for the other hand, with Curb Your Enthusiasm, that that lasted 24 years, almost 25. It'll be 25 in September, I think. I think in September, it'll be 25 years since Curb Your Enthusiasm aired its first pilot. So, yeah. I'm telling you, all the shows that we all know and love are old. Even before I even knew it even existed. I mean, I mean, I mean, the only TV series I was allowed to see back then, and this is a long time uh coming with this series. And this started, oh man, this started when I was like a little kid. I'm telling you. And it was I Love Lucy. We all know that series from the 50s with Lucille Ball, one of my favorite comedians, that we all love. Sorely missed, she's not with us, but all the stars aren't with us anymore. So, but yeah, that lasted at least over 20 years. I'm telling you, over 20 years, like maybe 20. I would say I started seeing it when I was like maybe like 9 or 10. So that was like so at 9 or 10 years old is when I started seeing I Love Lucy on like TV and stuff on reruns. Um, and the only times I started seeing it is well, if I wasn't in school and I had the flu or I was sick or whatever, I turned on I Love Lucy, or I turned on The Price is Right. since Price is Right with Bob Barker was on around that time too. So it was around that same time frame. So so but I'm telling you that all the series that I grew up with and all that stuff, you know, all the funny ones, you know, it's worth it. It's worth having them in our lives and all that. Having 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 those TV shows still on the air on reruns. So you know, I mean, the other TV shows I didn't start seeing until I was in my adult years. Um, well. Let me put this a better way. Is I did see some episodes of the Rolling Girls when I was maybe like 2 or 3, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't know who they were. I didn't know who they what type of TV show it was. But it's like where I was just only a toddler, so I just didn't know what type of TV show it was. And then when I started seeing it when I was an adult and all that on like if it was on like Netflix or if it was on Hulu or it was somewhere, then I started seeing the episodes. And I was like, it was a sitcom like Seinfeld and I Love Lucy and all the others. So, but yeah, so I've been a fan of the Rolling Girls since 2018. So that's 7 years, 7 years. You know. Um. Also, it's The Sopranos. Now this is a drama, and with The Sopranos, I didn't know that existed when I was a kid. That didn't start until like 99 or 2000. So I was not old enough to see it. And my parents didn't have HBO at the time, so we only had like cable. We only had like TNT, TBS, Disney Channel, the local channels. We only had those type of things. We didn't have HBO or any of that stuff. We didn't have like the package for it with our provider. But later on in years, we did. We started to have HBO and Cinemax and Showtime and all that stuff. You know, and have that. And all that, and have that. With our provider and stuff. So I downloaded HBO Max, and I started seeing The Sopranos to see how it was, and I was like, it was a lot of things happening, in the series, fighting, things I'm not allowed to say on YouTube, but you know what I mean. It was all like, fighting and hitting and and slapping and whatever, and more worse. but but yeah, so I've been a fan of not Seinfeld, The Sopranos, since around the same time as the Rolling Girls, so like 2018, 2017, around there. So um um but um but but yeah, so let me see. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen The Sopranos in a long time. I took a break from it, from seeing the episodes, since I've seen them so many times in the 7 years I've seen it. So, um, so, um, so yeah. Um, but 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 um, but yeah. So um, a lot of the series that are on all the streaming platforms that we have, you know, you know, you know, we have to we have them to have and all that, even on DVD. Here's the thing with DVDs is I still have them. I still have a DVD player. I have one that I haven't used and or opened yet. I have one of those portable ones. That you put on your bed or whatever. So I still use DVDs if I decide I don't want to have ads or whatever. If they're on like Amazon Prime or Hulu or whatever. Netflix doesn't have ads or whatever. On my profile. So um, but but with DVDs, you're able to see the episode all the way through. But you know, and all that. So, but anyways, yeah. So, uh, but yeah. So, but anyways, um, um, all I would say is is tomorrow. Well, now it's since it's today. Tuesday. Um, 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 I want to do my panel. But I have to figure out if I want to do it at 5 or 6. When at my time and all that, or I would want to do it at like later. Like 8 or 9. But the thing is Eric Rader is starting to do his live streams a little after 7. So, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Um, you know, um, with how everything is. Um, but uh, but yeah. So um, but yeah. So all I would say is I know Aaron is notified. I know he has his notifications on for when I'm live, and I know others do also. All my other subscribers and all my mods have them on and all that. So either I might do my panel at 5, or I might do it at you know you know a later time. Like 8 or 9. But it just depends. It just depends who will be around. So um, but but um, but anyways since it's already almost 1, um um uh I think it's time to end the live and and uh and try and relax before bed, um and just rest for a little bit. Maybe I might put on a YouTube video or something to see what's on or what. um if there's any funny videos or whatever. So I might see what's on YouTube and all that. And but yeah. So all I would say is thanks everyone for being here. I know Aaron's the only one here. I see a second viewer, but no one's saying anything, so it might be someone that's on alert mode. So I know Aaron's still here, so um yeah. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that, Aaron. Yeah, I remember that. Um yeah, I remember that. Um but um I want to thank Aaron for being here as my mod. I want to thank uh all the replay viewers that are here. Um uh and and yeah, uh I love you all. And hope you have an amazing sleep. Once you're there. Um, um, and yeah. So thanks, Aaron, for being here. And I will see you all tomorrow. I will see you. Yes, I'll see you tomorrow. Uh, and uh, and sleep well, you guys, and hope you have some pleasant dreams when you're there. Um, all right, I'll see you all tomorrow. All right, bye.